Hey everybody, it's me, Jill, and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Season 17, Episode 13. Big news, bigger secret. All right, we open this episode with Shannon visiting Dr. Moon. Some things never change. Dr. Moon thinks that it's her stress that's causing her skin to droop. Sure, it has nothing to do with the natural aging process. Oh, well, this is new. Shannon is collaborating with Dr. Moon on a colonic, one with a tip that doesn't come apart and get lost up your butt. We're reminded of one of the reasons why David ended the marriage, because he's the one that had to fish it out for her. Over at Jen's house, we meet her mom, Kristen, and the two of them are baking cookies. They cry over Will a little bit, Jen's ex. Her mom said, "I'll never forget what he said to me. I married your daughter because of you. I never had a mom." Then Jen said, I didn't mean to do what I did, but I met TW, someone who had an interest in me, and hurting Will hurts. So for as much as Jen told us that her parents were, really kind of hard on her and taking Will's side and all that, her mom now is saying that she just really wants Jen to be happy. So, Jen's like, I know. And she just wants someone that knows her to meet TW and then give her their honest opinion. So tomorrow, her mom is meeting Ryan for the first time. If this goes well, she might make it onto the dick pic recipients list. Fingers crossed, Mom. In the past, you had to be a friend or, at least one of his children to get on that list. Now, he's expanding. So there's a chance, Mom. Jen in her confessional said, so this meeting has to go really well, because if my mom were to say, "Are you crazy?" No way, Jen. Absolutely not. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. Maybe listen to your mom. How about that? Is that a possibility? Side note, Ryan charmed her college friend, and I have no doubt he will do the same to her mom. He's a cheater. He lies to and manipulates women. That's what he does. What you need to do is have your dad and your brothers meet with him and then see what they think. I would be curious to see how that plays. At the end of this scene, her mom tearfully hugs her and she said, "I love you. I'm sorry I wasn't there for you." So, maybe Jen was telling the truth, that the family kind of abandoned her when she cheated on Will. It's possible. Plus, I do trust Jen. I feel like she's one of the most trustworthy housewives that I've seen in recent history. Okay, now we get a little montage of all the ladies getting ready for the fireside event. Again, just to refresh your memory, Heather has her own channel on Mark Cuban's streaming platform, Fireside. And it's HD, which is her initials, but also, branding for living your life in high definition. It's a lifestyle network. It's not OWN, Oprah's network, but with a little bit of luck, we'll all be living our lives like Heather Dubrow. She's also using this as a way to be seen and, possibly get acting jobs. She's like, who knows? Maybe, sometimes you have to audition 27 times. Other times, maybe they just see your show. Yeah. So I don't know if the ladies were told to dress in high def, but we have Emily in a bright red dress. Jen and Tamara both show up in the same kind of neon yellow green. Gina is in hot pink. Heather herself is in black, I should mention. So, that doesn't seem like she would ever want to be outshined or anything. So I'm guessing it was just a coincidence. We learned that Shannon has been kind of stringing Heather along for weeks. Heather has invited her a long time ago, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know. I might go to Texas to visit Sophie. I might not go." And at one point she said she wasn't going, and Heather said, "Oh, good, then you can come to my event." And then Shannon was like, "Oh, shit." I might go to Texas. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, 2 days ago, Heather texted her again. A side note, why are you so thirsty, Heather? Why do you care that much if Shannon comes to your party? I don't know. I feel like I would invite somebody once and then that's it. You come or you don't. Anyway, 2 days ago, she texted Shannon, "Hey, Shannon, just checking to see if you can attend my party on Thursday. Or will you be leaving for Texas? Kisses, H." Then she got a reply that came 20 minutes before the guests started arriving. And it was Shannon saying, "I am sorry, I can't make it to your event today. I had to cancel my trip to Texas because I'm not feeling well. I hope you have fun." Yeah, she's fine. She didn't want to go. So now we see the ladies. They're talking about Shannon. Is she coming? Is she not coming? And Emily says to them, "Heather said something to me the other day. Do you know?" She is like pointing to Gina. And then she like stops herself. I drank too much. I'm drinking too much. I got to stop. I'm gonna stop. In her confessional, Emily said, "Heather told me that Shannon was talking about me at BravoCon," which at the time of filming was 1 week ago. She goes on to say, "But when I asked her what did Shannon say, she said, 'Oh no, I can't tell you. It's in the vault.'" So of course, like that pissed off Emily, understandably. And also, I'm sorry, it's in the vault, but you can tell her that Shannon was talking her. That part's not in the vault. Okay. Heather's vault is definitely not a place where I would keep any of my valuables. No. It leaks and it's got a very weak password. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Heather and Terry have a little private moment. He kisses her and he tells her she looks so wonderful. And she says, "By the way, we close on the house tomorrow." As if he forgot. I swear to God, talking about money is like foreplay for them. He like whispers in her ear, "Yeah, and the buyer has released the final funds, baby." Then Terry does some weird huffing. And they start dancing around. I don't know. I don't want to ask too many questions about this. I feel like I don't want to know. So now Heather, it kind of explains the platform to the ladies, and they're being very shady. Tamara doesn't find anything new or innovative about it, and actually compared it to OnlyFans. And Gina just feels robbed because she was hoping to meet Mark Cuban. Then the conversation moves to Jen's mom being in town and that she's going to go meet TW for the first time. Everyone's kind of surprised that it's just happening now because she's been dating TW for like 2 years. In her confessional, Tamara suggests that maybe it took this long because Jen was afraid of what Ryan would wear. Maybe a nice drop crotch jogger for mom. Then Tamara tells the ladies that Eddie has taken to redecorating their house now. And Emily goes, "Oh, so you need time away from Eddie? Because I need time away from Shane." And this is the catalyst for the ladies planning the girls' trip. Emily says she needs a place where she can do lots of shots, even though not 10 minutes earlier, she just said she needs to stop drinking. Well, Mexico it is, folks. I feel they always go to Mexico, right? The OC ladies. I mean, why would we pretend we were going to go anywhere else? Heather's like, "Yeah, I'm all in, but do we have to like go on adventures or can we just sit?" I feel like I would want to go on vacation with Heather. Let's just sit and have the drinks brought to us. Now the course is being brought to the table, and it's under this like Beauty and the Beast glass, you know, the one the rose is in. And let me just say, Emily is officially drunk now. There's no question about it. She's like, "Is there a bird in there?" And Heather goes, "A bird?" Emily, "I thought it was a bird cage." Heather, "It's a cloche." Emily, "Oh, well, will a butterfly come out?" And Heather goes, "Maybe." Heather, you can tell Heather is so annoyed, but she's trying to seem lighthearted and go along with it. And most of you guys know this. I'm not fancy at all. So I personally would rather have had a bird fly out than what's actually in there, which to me looks like 6 potato chips. I mean, I guess there's also caviar and some other like little things in there, but Yeah, no, I'm with drunk Emily on this one. Emily goes, I know how to do this, but those eggs came right out of the fish's vagina. So no thank you. I have to pee. A little while later, she has this like long cucumber sliver hanging out of her mouth. Is there dressing on this? And Heather's like, the dressing is on your plate. You have to, mix it all together. In Tamara's confessional, she's replaying this for us. She's got this like green piece of paper hanging out of her mouth. Oh, okay. Now drunk Emily tells Heather that you should put your initials on more things. I don't think there's enough. Now Heather's like, okay. And she leans over to Tamara. Is she hammered? And Tamara's like, oh yeah. And she goes, great. In Gina's confessional, she's like, why are you doing this at the table? Just call me later and we'll talk shit about everything after the party like normal people. Yeah. Emily is still on her about everything with the HD. She said, I'm surprised we didn't get branded when we walked in the door. Then she whispers to Gina, I just ate some sand. Was there sand in your salad? Gina's like, no. Anyway, Heather is not too pleased with Emily's antics, but fortunately she has 55 million reasons not to care. Yeah, she and Terry take one last look at their home after the party, dance around again, and when Heather asks him, where do we go now? Terry's answer is, I don't know, but it'll be on a private jet. Hopefully with vomit bags, because I could use one right now. Yeah. Fuck you, planet Earth. The Dubrows only fly private. God. You know who won't be at their next dinner? Greta Thunberg. No, look, I'm happy for rich people. I really am. In fact, I always tell my husband I would be the best billionaire. I mean, maybe not the best, but I would be a good one because I would follow the lead of Jeff Bezos' ex-wife, where, I just have sickening amounts of money that I couldn't possibly spend in my lifetime. I'd set myself up nicely. I would set my entire family up nicely. And I then would devote my time and energy on finding the right charities to donate to, where it would do the most good. And I would just try to do the best that I could with all the rest of the money that I don't really need. I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. I just recently switched this is going to sound like a paid advertisement. It is not. I literally just did this on my own. I had my prescriptions changed over to Mark Cuban's Cost Plus Drugs. I think it's called costplusdrugs.com. And it is so much cheaper than even going through my insurance, which I did not have the best insurance, to be fair, but these are normal, like it's a blood pressure medication. One is like a kind of like a water pill that goes along with that, and omeprazole, which is like for my heartburn. So you can go on his website, check and see if they have them, because they don't have everything yet. But he did say they are working on it. But here's a billionaire who just created this way to skip the middleman, go to work with the manufacturers of the drugs, and get decent prices for medicine for the average person. It's by mail order. I just signed up for it. And then when I went to see my doctor the other day, I told him this is where I wanted my prescriptions to go to. I had him make them for 3 months at a time. It's a $5 delivery fee. I think it's for no matter how many, because I had 3 prescriptions and it was just $5 for all 3. So I got 3 months, 3 different drugs. The total was like $36.20. So that's all I'm going to have to pay 4 times a year. For drugs, honestly, the one drug I was paying almost $20 a month. And it's not on the Walmart, like $4 list. And that was through Walmart. So anyway, sorry that went so long. But that's one of the things that I would do as a billionaire. like Mark Cuban. I would do things like that just help the average person save money. Oh, one last thing. At Heather's party, Gina like kind of whispered to Emily, like, is something else bothering you? Because really, all the comments, she was drunk, yes, but all the comments were directed at Heather. And so she said, yeah, that she was bothered that Heather said Shannon was talking about you, but now she won't tell me what she said. Like, that's not right. Gina understood, but she just said, this is not the place to do it. Emily goes, duly noted. Okay, so next we are at Shannon's house. Side note, I do not like a dark pool. I know that was kind of the thing for a while there, where they were painting pools a darker color inside or using a darker liner to make it look more natural. I do not want to swim in what looks like murky water. I'm sure it's clean, filtered, all that kind of thing. But if I can't see what's in it, how can you tell if something died in there or not? This is like Erica's pool all over again. Anyway, Tamara FaceTimes Shannon to kind of fill her in on what she missed at Heather's party. Shannon's still pretending not to feel well, so I don't know, maybe it's true. Tamara's like, okay, so first of all, it was beautiful, as you would imagine a Heather Dubrow party to be. Emily got wasted. I mean, really wasted. Even Gina was trying to get her to, like, shut up. Then Shannon tells Tamara, yeah, I got a call from Heather last night after her party. What? Look, I'm with Heather. That was rude to wait to respond to something, to wait 2 days until like 20 minutes before the party was about to start, before you decline the invitation. Yeah, that was rude. I'm with Heather on that. But to call her the same night? They left the party, her and Terry. They went like straight to their old house. She called Shannon from her old house. Like she literally took a break from like drinking champagne and dancing in piles of cash to call Shannon and berate her for not giving her proper notice that she wasn't coming to the party. Can someone please explain why Heather cares that much? Whether or not Shannon went to her party? Why do you care? So what? Anyway, Tamara asks Shannon if she says that the girls were talking about the girls' trip. They decided on Mexico, and she asked Shannon if she would be okay with Riviera Maya. Like, is that someplace you would want to go? And Shannon goes, well, I'll go, but you won't see me in a bathing suit. And then you can see Tamara. It's on FaceTime. And she goes, hang on, I'm going to pull up the resort. And then she goes, holy shit. And Shannon's like, what? Tamara's reading, Heather and Terry Dubrow sell their famous home. Then we see these blurbs. Heather and Terry Dubrow sell $55 million Newport Coast mansion to mystery buyer. Shannon's like, $55 million is a boatload of money. Am I jealous? Yeah. Then we see all the ladies getting the news. They can't understand why Heather didn't say a word to them about it. Tamara's like, yeah, she calls us her friends, but then she doesn't share something personal like this. Okay, now it is time for dinner with the town whore. Yes, Jen and her mom, Kristen, they are meeting him at the restaurant. Right from the get-go, he gives Kristen a big hug. Yeah. The charming is beginning. She'll be on the dick pic list by the time the appetizers arrive. Wow, okay, he wastes no time. He leads with,
I'm sure Jen has told you I wasn't faithful.
Okay.
That's something I obviously wish I could redo.
And Kristen goes, right. So TW tells her that he's an open book, and if she has any concerns, go for it. So Kristen said, well, the 5 kids and Jen, those are all my concerns. Taking on all those kids plus the 2 of your own when you've had nothing for the last 5 years, I mean, that's a lot. And he's like,
I know it is.
Then she tells him that Will was a great man. TW goes,
a great father, yeah.
And Kristen goes, Will was a great husband. Ouch. Yeah. Now she asks about marriage, and Ryan goes,
Do you want to?
Jen's like, no, you go. TW.
In my perfect world, her divorce would be final and we'd already be engaged. That's my plan. Wouldn't you agree?
Jen. Yes. Oh, God. She looks like there's a gun to her head. He says he never thought at age 46 he'd be where he is right now. Sitting here, Jen and Ryan +7. I smell a spinoff. Move over, John and Kate +8. But Kristen's like, is it fulfilling? And
It's very fulfilling for me. Yes.
Kristen, God love her. You've got some big shoes to fill. And then she goes, but I think you can do it. TW.
Thank you.
And Kristen goes, you're welcome. Yeah, he did it, guys. He did it. He charmed Jen's mom. I mean, look, all he does, he did the same thing to her college friend. He knows to tell them exactly everything they want to hear. Yes, I love Jen. Yes, I'll be faithful to her. Yes, I love her children. Yes, I will take care of them all. No, I don't think it's too much to handle. I want to be with her forever. Like he knows what they want to hear to feel comforted. And I'm not even saying he doesn't mean it or he doesn't love Jen. He must if he wants to take on 5 more kids, and get married again. But I don't know what his plan is for staying faithful. And if I were Jen's mother, I think that would be a question I would ask, because I haven't heard that yet. After you get into an argument with my daughter and you take off and go to the bar and there's single women throwing themselves at you, how are you going to keep yourself from having sex with a stranger when you're mad at my daughter? What is your plan for not cheating in the future when that's all you've done in the past? What about in the future when Jen is old and her plastic surgery is starting to make her face look weird? What's your plan to stay faithful to her? I don't know. Okay, next we have a montage about Mexico. Everyone's getting ready to go. Taylor's in. She's also on the trip. What about Vicky? Because I feel like she owns a place down there. Can a trip to Andalays be far behind? I don't know. I don't know how far away she is from where the ladies are staying this time, but I feel like we're due for a Vicky sighting. In Shannon's confessional, she said, I always have fun on vacation. Fun vacation Shannon here. But Mexico brings it to a whole nother level. Then we get a flashback to, I don't know if it was last year. I don't remember it. But she and Emily drunk on a beach in Mexico, falling over. Shannon's wearing 6 sombreros at the same time. Oh. All right. So they're on a plane. They're in Mexico in a Sprinter van, and they're talking about the rooms or the room assignment or whatever. And I guess there are 3 rooms for, 7 women. So Tamara says to Gina and Emily, do you 2 want a room together? And Gina's like, yes, we would love to. And then kind of immediately Taylor and Jen are like, we'll room together too. And then Tamara's like, okay, and you and me, Shannon. And that leaves Heather out. So she's like, can I room with you 2? She says to Gina. And Gina goes, yeah, we'll have you. And she smiles at her and she's like, okay. But in her confessional, it didn't get past Heather that she was the last one. She's like, this is like 5th grade again, where you're sitting there waiting and getting picked last. So anyway, they do get there and the resort looks amazing. We see Tamara and Shannon's suite first and oh my God, they're not even the one with 3 people in it. And it's huge. Oh, they're all amazing. And all the women are just thrilled with the place. So now they go down to have dinner together, like at a candlelit table on the beach and stuff. I love this resort. I don't remember the name of it, but it's probably too expensive, but I would love to stay there sometime. Right now, before they have dinner, they're having cocktails, and these drinks are being served in these bird-shaped glasses. Not like the bird glass at Heather's party. But they are actually it's like blown glass into the shape of a bird. And oh my God, how would you clean them? I just thought of that now. Plus, what must they cost? If I would not trust these ladies not to break one or several. Anyway, now it's time to eat. They all sit down at the table and they're making small talk, but it's clear that they're avoiding the elephant in the room, which is the sale of Heather's house. So finally, it's Tamara that is the one that can't wait any longer. And she says, I want to hear all the details about what we're hearing in the press about you selling your house, Heather. And you never told anyone. And she goes, no, I didn't. But it did happen rather quickly, and there was an NDA. Just for clarification, an NDA stands for non-disclosure agreement. And in this particular case, I guess the buyer wanted anonymity for some reason. So she and Terry couldn't say who bought their house. I mean, it doesn't mean they couldn't say that they sold their house, though. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell them who bought it. So then Heather goes, the hitch is that they wanted us out in 3 weeks. And everyone's like, oh, what? And she goes, so I purged my house and we moved out on Tuesday. They're in shock. And Gina goes, I can't believe it. Your party, you didn't say anything to any of us. And Heather goes, honestly, with this group, I wasn't sure I could share it. I've been accused of bragging. I don't know. And Gina goes, well, I'm just bummed that you didn't feel like you could tell us. Shannon, I'm happy for you, but I just remember about a month ago, you saying, Shannon, you're not sharing. And Heather goes, well, we didn't want it to get out in the press. And Gina goes, it's like saying that if you tell us, it could get out in the press. Yeah. And Shannon, she doesn't trust us. Yeah. And your point? Do you trust them, Shannon? They're talking about your relationship all over the place. You know how flimsy that vault is, girl. If anybody knows, you do, Shannon. So is anybody surprised that when you really, really and truly need something to remain a secret, you don't tell the other housewives? Anyway, Heather's like, I was hoping it wouldn't get out in the press and that I could tell you guys on this trip. Then she said, and Shannon, why do you even care? And Shannon goes, because you say I don't share personal things. And Heather goes, I share a lot of personal things in my life. I got accused of staging paparazzi pics. And Emily goes, why do you care so much about those? So what if you did or didn't do it? Like, who cares? And Heather goes, I don't want to be accused of that. And by the way, Emily, you have been so unkind to me for weeks. Emily, oh, saying I'm unkind is a little unfair. Emily's trying to say she was just joking about, all the HD stuff everywhere. And Heather's like, you were a dick, Emily. Emily, I'm sorry. You have HD everywhere. I made a comment about it. I'm sorry it hurt your feelings. Are you, though? So Emily goes, was it nice that you said that I should shut up and eat my food? And Heather goes, well, you were throwing your caviar. And she goes, I handed it to Tamara, which she did because the camera shows that, a flashback of that. Then you had your cucumber hanging out of your mouth like a fruit roll-up. That's accurate. I'm just shocked that Heather Dubrow knows what a fruit roll-up is. I literally just saw like an Instagram post of her eating a chicken nugget for the first time ever. How the hell does she know what a fruit roll-up is? Anyway, Tamara's laughing behind her napkin now. Shannon goes, don't laugh. Don't laugh. So then Emily goes, I didn't mean to do that. It had sand in it. Now Gina's laughing behind her napkin. And Emily goes, if I can't crack a joke, why is it okay for you to put cookies on a plate and say, Emily, these are your boobs? We see a flashback. And Emily goes, is it okay to body shame? So Heather goes, body shame? As you're talking about my dolphin trainer suit? Emily goes, that's not body shaming. You did look like a whale trainer. Oh no. Then in Shannon's confessional, she goes, that's not. I mean, who's going to be offended by that if somebody says, you look like a thin whale trainer in your wetsuit? Oh, my God. This is so absurd, but it's also the kind of scenes that just keep me going with the Housewives. It really is everything I love about these shows. the very absurd scenes like this. Oh, anyway, Heather said, well, it was very inappropriate and I was hurt. So Emily goes, well, I was very hurt by you that day because the day before, this is what she says to me. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, you know what? In New York at BravoCon, I was in Shannon Bedore's room, and she had a lot of crappy things to say about you guys. But I'm not going to tell you what it was. Now Shannon's like, she was never in my room. Oh, that's what she denies. I mean, I talk crap about you guys all the time, but she was never in my room. Heather goes, I never said that to you. Emily, yes, you did. Why would I make that up? Heather's like, no, I'm tired of being the scapegoat for everything. So I'm not accepting it. Nope. Now, in Gina's confessional, she said, I was in the room at the time that she told us. But to be honest with you, I thought she said it was Tamra that was saying bad stuff. But I also was getting my hair blown out, so I don't know. So Heather and Emily are really going after each other right now, calling each other a friend. No, you are. Heather thinks that she's held to a higher standard. Emily said, you don't have to be held to any standard. You get to be pretentious. You get to be a jerk. You get to be self-centered. You get to be egocentric. And we all just have to say, oh, well, that's Heather. That's just the way she is. Yeah. Heather's reply is, just because you say something emphatically doesn't make it true. Emily, well, just because you do this with your hands doesn't make it true either. So it's good to see that they're being mature about it all. Welcome to Mexico. And that is all for this episode. It is a to be continued. Previews are showing us some Vicki Gunvalson, so I was right. She's not going to pass up an opportunity to be in Mexico. Also, you guys, I bet she's going to stay in the room with Shannon and Tamra. I just have a feeling. I thought it was a little bit strange when Heather said to Gina, can I stay in the room with you guys? Because she's mad at Emily. Now, of course, Shannon, isn't crazy about Heather right now, but Heather certainly wants to be good with Shannon, and she certainly cares a lot about whether Shannon came to her party or not. So I think it would have seemed natural if Heather would have said, can I stay with you two, Tamra and Shannon, because I think she wants to be part of their group. But she didn't, so that just makes me think, I wonder if she knew Vicki was coming and staying with them. I don't know. Maybe not. We'll see. We will see next week. If you guys liked this recap, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please consider doing so. And please consider clicking on the bell icon if you would like to be notified every time I post something new on my channel. All right, that's it for me, you guys. I love you, and I'll see you next week. Bye.